Hey everyone, Galactic Battlefront here, and today we're going to be taking a look at the new SH Figuarts General Grievous. This was released on November 29th, and it should be making its way to anybody in the US currently. I did get this from Japan. I bought it off of eBay. I'm excited to review this one, so let's get right into it. And to start off, we're going to first take a look at the box. So I do have him unboxed already, but you just have the plastic sarcophagus thing that we always like to keep him in. No ties or nothing holding them down, and then there's a piece of plastic back there that holds the cape and like a little display stand. But then on the back we have some awesome poses. One of my favorites right here. We have the SH Figuarts Obi-Wan Kenobi, which I think they're making a new one of. But we have Grievous, and then we have him in this pose, another action pose here, and then a kneeling pose with the cape showing that it is wired. We have some close-ups here so you can see just how awesome he looks. There are some discrepancies here with this. I have not been able to get his cape down below this collarbone thing here. Just one of those things where it's the prototype and then it doesn't transfer over to the mainline product. But have some stuff here just written down, and yeah, that's pretty much it. It's just a little portrait on the side here. So that's all there is to the box. There wasn't really much in the box, just some directions also. But then we have General Grievous himself. So I have him set up with his wired cape. I have it in kind of a blown pose there. And then he has his two lightsabers equipped. Out of the box, though, he does come with just these two fists. If I can get this lightsaber out. And then no cape. And to disconnect the cape, you just pull out one of these little buttons in the back here. So you just lift up and you kind of just tug on this here, and then you just pop his head off, and it comes off simply just like that. I'm going to take a look at this real quick. So like I said, that attaches through a button there, and then you have spots to put the lightsabers. I do believe these disconnect. Yep. And then these would just sit in here, so you can load them up with lightsabers. It looks like you could possibly get 6. Let me see if we can get anything in this middle one. Maybe not. It looks like it's able to be open, but I think it's closed. So you can get 4 total. 1, 2, 3, 4. He needs many more pockets because he loves to hold his lightsabers. But a cool feature that we have, and then we have the black outside with the nice red inside, typical for General Grievous's cape. So always awesome looking. I kind of wish they did his emblem on the back here, but I'll take this. This is a very good wired cape. It's very hard to find a good wired cape, and SH Figuarts does make pretty good ones. So pop his head back on here, and this is how he comes out of the box, just like this, looking absolutely menacing. The wash on him is great. The paint on him is great. I've turned the exposure down so you guys can see that. He's not exactly white. It's kind of like this bone sort of cream color. And it's really nice looking. It really pops. You can see he has like a brown and black wash all over. All the little details are popping out. So overall, the paint is really good. And then this piece just kind of plugs back in here, just like that, and you almost don't even notice it. I mean, you can see the little cutout there for you get like your fingernail in to get that out, but I mean, really nice. And you can see all the detail on the head here too, which is one of my favorite parts. And I got some close-up photos of his face that I will put towards the end that I posted to Instagram already. And then you have I think it's just the guts or whatever. I always call them the guts. These don't open. They move a little bit, but they don't open. But it is green. You can just kind of barely see it. It's like an emerald green color. It would have been cool if these opened up to do the scene with like Kenobi opening his chest, but there's nothing there for that. And then you just got a little bit of wash down here. So overall, deco-wise, I would say that this is really good. Compares with most of the other things that we've gotten, and I would say 8 out of 10 for that, maybe 9. So then we're going to get into the articulation. So I'm just going to start with the head. So he can look up a very good amount. So if you want to have somebody coming down from above him. Down, there isn't really any movement until you, and I don't know if you could see that, this will start to rotate down like this. So then you can have him kind of look down. And it's really cool that they have that in there because it doesn't actually pop out at all. So it's molded in that way or engineered that way. And it's just awesome that they went that far with that. So he can look down. He can turn his head just about all the way around. I would just be careful going this far, not to stretch it. These, I'm just going to call these ears. They don't move at all. So that's nice because if they move, that would kind of annoy me, especially if you're trying to pose them. So moving down to the arms, we can get his arms up pretty high. Just got to move these like shoulder pad things out of the way. But you see, you can get his arms up pretty high, so that's good. So I would say past the T-pose. And then those are on a really weird like Y joint to a ball joint. I don't even know what you would call that. But that has an explanation in a minute. So these shoulder pads, they can kind of spin. I don't think that they spin all the way around. I'm afraid to push it any further than this. I would say this is about as far as it goes back. And then up, it kind of interferes with this bone back here, or this piece of his armor. But you could get it over it if you wanted to. So that moves on both sides. And then we have about a 90-degree bend. So can't complain too much there with that. 90 is about what's preferred. Obviously, the more the better, but we'll take 90. And that's going to be the same for both sides. And then the wrist swivels, hinges. It's on a ball joint. Hinges in, up, whichever way you want to face the joint, or the ball joint, excuse me. And then we have rotation at the waist. Again, you just got to be careful with it. But you can get all the way around. Just want to be gentle. And then moving down, we have these two armor pieces that are on the ball joint peg. And they move back and forth. You can also pop those off if you want to have them in like a more crouched pose. I noticed that those kind of got in the way, so I did just pop them off. And with his cape on, nobody was like really going to see that. And then the legs they're kind of weird the way that they have them set up. So let me move this light here a little bit. So as you can see, it goes to two ball joints, and the joint goes into the middle here, and that allows for you to lift the leg up and down like this. You can rotate this, and then you can get it into different poses here. But you got to be careful of how this sets in, because it's not going to line up, I guess, correctly. It has to kind of be specifically like this for it to work. And then this pivots up a little bit. And then when it's all connected, it works like that. But if you can figure this out, you can get him into some pretty unique poses. It's something that I would definitely have to play around with more. I feel like there's a bit more to it there. But just to leave him in a generic pose like this is fine. It's definitely something that takes some playing around with just to get used to it. I also feel like his arms are a little bit too far back. I wish that you could bring them up a little bit more, but it's just the way that they're sitting in there. But back down to the legs, we got more than a 90-degree bend. I mean, that is beautiful, and it just is seamless all the way through. So you have double jointed knees, and he can kick. I mean, that's probably not comfortable, but he can kick up pretty far. And then down here, you have the foot on a ball joint, so like the ankle. I guess this could be his ankle. And then you have a little bit of articulation play down in like the claw part of his actual foot. So they were pretty generous with the articulation here, which is awesome. Now, what everybody's probably wondering is how you disconnect the arms, and that's very simple. You would just pull these out, and you can see these are two separate pieces. This one's a little bit looser because this is the one where this would be the inner arm, so it's going to bend and go in, but it's not going to fall out, and you know it's caught on something, so you don't have to worry about that. And then once you pull those out, the arms are alive now, and then you get 2 sets each for each side. And so we have, let me get the correct ones. So for his right, you would just push these in here, and you kind of just gotta set it up correct. There's no correct or wrong way to put them in. There you go. It's just simple as that. And then you could just set them up however you need them, and he's ready to go. You can get him in with all 4 lightsabers very easy. So let me pop these out of here real quick because I do want to go over all the accessories together. But I just wanted to demonstrate that. I'm going to put him to the side for now. So he does come with quite a bit of accessories. If you count the 2 hands that he has here, plus the 4 that are on here, so now we're at 6. Then you have another set making 8, and then another set making 10. So he's got a nice amount of hands. The problem is there's nothing really open besides these ones, and this kind of reminds me of a spider crawling, and that's generically I think that's what they were going for. Is this is when he's crawling on all 4s. This is what this pose is for. That's what I've seen in a couple different pictures from SH Figuarts themselves. But I kind of wish they had just a more relaxed hand where he's just kind of chilling. And they could have totally did that with maybe one of these. I don't think both of them needed to be exactly the same. But it is what it is. We'll take it, right? And then they gave us 2 sets of fists, which I don't understand. Like, they could have done something else, I feel. Because all it did, like, the main difference is just this pinky that's coming out here. Like, the thumb's kind of in the same spot almost. It just didn't make sense why they did this. These don't even hold the lightsaber any better than the other ones, so, like, I really don't know. I feel like that was just a waste in general. But those are the hands, and then we have the lightsabers, which they do come apart. And you have 2 generic-looking lightsaber hilts. One's green, one's blue. And then you have, funny enough, one that looks like Anakin's with a green hilt, and then you have one that looks like Obi-Wan's, of course, with the blue hilt. And they all pop off, so you can put them in there. But to have Anakin and Obi-Wan's lightsaber hilts, it's kind of funny. And then the last weapon that you're going to get is this. It's blanking on me. I'm just going to call it the electric staff. I think that's what it is, actually. And then these pop off and they wrap around this. And you can see that they're pretty pliable, so you can just pop them on there and take them off. So if you want to just display it with it, say it's off, you can go like this. This is bendy, but it holds up pretty well. It's pretty straight out of the box. It's not warped really anyway. Maybe a little bit here, but you're not going to really notice it. These don't come off, but they do spin, so you're not going to get it off. And that's pretty much all of his accessories that I really have to go over. But everything is detailed very well, even on these single arms, so they didn't miss anything. And to just go over these also do have articulation as well. It doesn't look like it's a ball joint, it's just a kind of a hinge, but for what it is, they don't really need to be on a ball joint. And then these also bend maybe just a little past 90, so you get just a little bit more with these, but not a whole lot. And so I think overall this is a really good General Grievous. My only gripe that I really have is he doesn't really have a whole lot of weight to him, and the legs are kind of flimsy in a way. So if you were to put him in like an action pose, he would start to just kind of go like this and then fall over. And that's where that stand really comes in that they give you, because they want you to use that. It just kind of sucks when you don't want to. You can get him in poses if you spend some time and you balance him very well, because you have to have the counterweights set up with everything, and he'll stand and be fine. It just takes a while. It takes a lot of finicking. But when you get it, it does work. But you see what I mean? How it's just kind of bending in. Like it's a little loose here. And you just got to set it, hope that it stays, and that the weight's distributed evenly. And then you can get him to stand. So it's just something where if you're not so experienced with figures like this, you're going to have a little bit more difficult time trying to get him into some poses. But if you're an experienced action figure poser, you shouldn't have too much of an issue. The only other gripe I had is I kind of wish that these opened just to get that, one scene, especially at the end of Revenge of the Sith. But other than that, I think the figure is a solid 9 out of 10. I mean, this is the best version of General Grievous that I think that we've gotten. I wanted to do a quick size comparison too, so let me put his arm back on here off screen real quick. And to compare him, I'm just going to use the new Black Series Obi-Wan Kenobi. And we're just going to go for height-wise distance. And then I'm going to grab another figure that I think you guys will like to see a height difference of and get him to stand. So he towers over Kenobi. And to just measure him, let's see what we got him at. So he's standing pretty much straight up. He is 7.5, maybe a little bit over. And we got Kenobi at 6. So again, towering over him, you're going to get those poses where you have him standing over maybe a Padawan, which is where I'm going to go next. And who better to get than Ahsoka? I mean, look at that. That is awesome. We do see Ahsoka fight Grievous a couple different times throughout the Clone Wars, so to have this is awesome. I mean, you can definitely set it up, and then here's with Obi-Wan. So you could just continuously make him look menacing. And, I mean, putting him next to a clone trooper too, like, they did an awesome job on that. I'm hoping that they release some droids, and we can get him posed up with them. I also have one other thing that everybody may be interested to see. Let me grab him real quick. We can always pair him up with these guys from the Black Series. And that looks really cool. Let me put them more centered for you. There you go. I do have another one of them, so how I'm going to display them is one on the left, one on the right. And, I mean, that's pretty much how it's going to be. I'm going to throw this back on him. And the only other gripe I had really was just that this does not fit around this. And it looks like they gave that cutout for it, unless there's another way to get it on there. I mean, I tried everything. This doesn't pop out, and I don't want to pull it out because that will probably break it. And the only thing I can do is just take his head off and try and get it under, but it won't go. So unless there is some way and somebody finds something out, if you make a comment, I will pin that comment and update it. Unless I find out, then I will make a comment and pin it. It's going to give me trouble trying to stand. There we go. So I'm going to have some close-up photos at the end of his face. I can only get so close with the camera before it starts to focus out. I mean, you can see his eyes there, but if I get any closer, you're not going to be able to see anything. But I do have some high-quality photos, and they look awesome, especially with the lightsabers, the one that I did with the lightsaber. I'm just going to put a plain one up so you can see his eyes too. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I've been away for a while, so this is my first one back. But I'm hoping to have some more come up throughout the year, and we'll go from there, especially more into next year, I mean. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed. Just leave a like, a comment, and hopefully I'll see you guys in the next one.